Before we set up our mini instrument for the clarinet, we need to make sure that we are opening the case carefully and in a way that prevents it from getting damaged. So we're going to make sure we have our buckles facing up. You'll notice that they'll open up like that on the vast majority of cases. That means your case is the right way up. If you have it like this and the buckles are kind of coming down, that means when you open up your clarinet, everything's going to fall out. So make sure you have your case the right way up. You can put it carefully on your lap. In the classroom, I would typically have you open it on the floor just to prevent anything from going wrong. Open it up carefully. And inside the case, you're going to have the beak with a ligature on it that looks like that. And you're going to have a barrel, which looks like this. It has a skinny end and a little bit wider of an end. So you're going to take, before you even get a readout, you're going to take the skinny end of the barrel and your beak without the ligature, and with slight twisting motions, carefully turn them together until they're all the way connected. It should look like that. Then take your ligature, which has a wide end and a skinny end, and place it down on the beak with the screws on your right. The screws are on your right. Some ligatures may have the screws on top, but most of them are going to have them facing you and on the right. As long as they're on your right, you're good to go. The next step is you have a reed, or you should have a reed, and you'll notice that there is a flat end and a rounded end. And the first step, anytime you play a clarinet, is let this sit on your thumb. You know, it feels weird. A new reed has an interesting taste. And you want to make sure that it gets a little bit wet. Reeds vibrate, which is what creates sound, and they vibrate much better when they're a little bit wet. Okay. Now, previously we talked about there being a flat end and a round end on your reed. You're going to take the flat end and match it with the flat side of your beak. So we talked about the flat end of the reed. Notice this is a rounded side, and then this is a perfectly flat side of the reed. And we want that to line up with the flat side of our mouthpiece here. So I'm going to push up my pre-loosened ligature, slide the reed down in there, and kind of just wiggle everything together. Any adjustment you make with the reed, you're not touching the tip of it. Notice I'm touching the thicker parts, looking down here to check that it's basically centered on the railing. And you want there to be just a little bit of the mouthpiece beak showing past the reed, just a little bit. Notice how my ligature is not up here. You really want to make sure you're sealing the ligature on top of the reed down here on that thicker part of the reed. Go ahead and try this and double check that yours looks like mine does in the pictures and in the video here. When I'm tightening these, I'm not tightening them too hard. I'm just going until they stop. And this is what your finished mini instrument for the clarinet should look like.